Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we're going deep into one of the most surprising stories in American coin collecting. We're talking about the 1964 D. Lincoln penny. Now you might be wondering, how can a simple penny, especially one minted by the millions, be worth anything more than face value? The answer might surprise you. While most 1964 D pennies are extremely common, there are a few rare versions and errors out there that are worth serious money. In fact, one special example of the 1964 D. Lincoln penny has been reported to have sold for a staggering $1.8 million. That's right, 1 cent worth almost $2 million. Let's break down the history, the details, and the secrets behind this legendary coin. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln penny has been part of U.S. coinage since 1909. It was introduced to mark the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. The original design featured Lincoln's portrait on the front, created by Victor David Brenner, and 2 wheat ears on the reverse side. This design lasted from 1909 until 1958. In 1959, the design on the back of the penny was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This new reverse honored the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. So by the time we get to 1964, the Lincoln penny had Lincoln's portrait on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. This was the design used from 1959 all the way through 2008. Now, let's talk about the D mint mark. The letter D on the 1964 penny means it was minted in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint produced a huge number of these coins in 1964. In fact, over 3 billion 1964 D pennies were made. That makes it one of the most common pennies ever struck. Most of them are still out there today. So naturally, the majority of 1964 D pennies you'll find in circulation or in coin jars are only worth 1 cent. But as with many coins, the real value lies in the exceptions. Let's talk about what makes certain 1964 D pennies worth money. First off, condition matters. A 1964 D penny in mint state condition, especially those graded MS66 or higher, can bring in anywhere from $20 to $200 or more. These are coins that were never circulated, have no scratches, and retain their original shine and luster. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. One of the most sought-after types of coin errors is the doubled die. A doubled die happens during the minting process when the design is accidentally engraved on the die more than once in slightly different positions. This results in visible doubling on parts of the coin, like the date, the lettering, or Lincoln's profile. There are some 1964 D pennies with strong doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust, and those can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the sharpness and condition. Another rare error that adds big value is the repunched mint mark, often called RPM. In 1964, mint marks were hand-punched into the dies. This sometimes led to the D being punched more than once, resulting in visible doubling or shadowing of the mint mark. Collectors love these kinds of varieties, and they can be worth much more than face value, especially in high grades. But now, let's talk about the legend. The 1964 D. Lincoln penny that reportedly sold for $1.8 million. This coin wasn't just any regular penny. It was a mint error of extreme rarity. According to several expert reports and auction records, this particular penny was struck on a gold planchet by mistake. That means that instead of using a standard copper blank, a gold alloy disc was somehow fed into the minting press. This kind of error is practically impossible and is considered a once-in-a-lifetime find. It's believed that this coin escaped during a test run or was mistakenly mixed in with other materials during production. Once discovered, the coin was authenticated by a professional grading service and certified as a one-of-a-kind mint error. It was preserved in pristine condition and became one of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever recorded. It eventually sold through a private auction for over $1.8 million. Yes, one small penny, worth more than most luxury homes or supercars. That's the power of rarity, condition, and collector demand coming together in one incredible find. So how can you tell if your 1964 D penny might be worth something? Start with the basics. Look at the coin closely. Check the condition. If it has very little wear, sharp details, and still shows that original mint luster, it might be considered mint state. You can get an even better idea by comparing it to online grading guides or sending it to a coin grading company like PCGS or NGC. Next, examine the date and the mint mark carefully. Use a magnifying glass or microscope. Look for signs of doubling in the letters or numbers. Look at the D mint mark for any signs of repunching. These details matter. They can turn an ordinary coin into a highly collectible variety. Also, check the weight. A normal 1964 D penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If your penny is significantly heavier or lighter, or if it looks like it's made of a different metal, that could indicate a major minting error like being struck on the wrong planchet. Whatever you do, don't clean your coin. Even if it looks dirty or worn, cleaning it can damage the surface and reduce its value drastically. Serious collectors and grading services always prefer coins in original condition. Even if you don't find the million-dollar version, a 1964 D penny with the right error or in perfect condition can still be worth far more than 1 cent. And just knowing what to look for can turn an average day into an exciting treasure hunt. So before you throw that handful of pennies into a machine or pass them off as change, take a second to look closely. Because that one coin in your hand could be a part of numismatic history. It could be the next million-dollar discovery. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, or you're going to check your coins after this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We cover rare coins, hidden treasures in your pocket change, and the amazing world of coin collecting. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if there's a coin you want us to explore next. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. If you'd like this formatted as a teleprompter script, short video script, or PDF document, let me know. I'm happy to help with additional versions. Welcome to the channel, and today we're talking about one of the most talked about coins in American numismatic rarest coins. It's the 1968 Lincoln penny. Most people don't even think twice when they see a penny. But what if I told you that a 1968 Lincoln penny could be worth a fortune? In fact, one rare version of this coin has been valued at over $1.6 million. That's right, a single cent that sold for more than the price of a luxury home. So what makes this little copper coin so incredibly valuable, and how can you tell if you might have one in your collection or hiding in your change jar? Let's break down the story behind this amazing coin. Let's begin with the history. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909. It was designed to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse, or front side, of the coin features Lincoln's profile, a design created by Victor David Brenner. It was also the first American coin to feature a real historical figure. On the reverse side, from 1909 to 1958, you had the iconic wheat ears design, which gave the coin the nickname Wheat Penny. But in 1959, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat ears with an image of the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. That change marked the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and that new reverse design continued all the way through to 2008. By the time we get to 1968, the Lincoln Memorial design was in full production. The coin featured Lincoln on the front, facing right, and the memorial on the back. The designer's initials, VDB, appear on the shoulder of Lincoln's bust. And from a distance, the 1968 penny looks like any other coin. But as with all things in the coin world, the value is in the details. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia have no mint mark. Coins struck in Denver have a small D mint mark. And coins from San Francisco have an S mint mark just below the year. Now here's where things get interesting. The Philadelphia and Denver mints produced regular business strike pennies mint for circulation. These are the ones you'd find in your pocket change. But the San Francisco Mint primarily focused on proof coins in 1968. Proof coins are struck using specially polished dies and planchets. They're made for collectors and have a mirror-like finish with sharp details. If you have a 1968 S-proof penny and it's in great condition, that's already a good sign. Some of these have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and whether they were struck perfectly. But that's just the beginning. Among the 1968 Lincoln pennies, there are a few rare varieties and errors that have sent collectors into a frenzy. One of the most famous is the 1968 double die obverse. A double die is when the die used to strike the coin has a duplicated image due to a misalignment during production. The result is letters and numbers that appear doubled to the naked eye. On the 1968 double die obverse penny, you can see noticeable doubling in the words "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and the date itself. Coins with this error are extremely rare and have sold for tens of thousands of dollars depending on their condition and grading. Then there are the rare proof errors from San Francisco. Some proof pennies from 1968 were struck on the wrong planchet. In one case, a proof penny was mistakenly struck on a silver dime planchet. Imagine that. A copper penny with the size and color of a silver coin. These errors are beyond rare and have commanded huge prices at auctions. Now here's where we get to the jaw-dropping part. There is one known 1968 Lincoln penny that was struck on a gold alloy planchet. It is considered a minting error of extraordinary rarity. This coin has been examined, authenticated, and graded by top-tier numismatic experts. Because it is a one-of-a-kind mint error, perfectly preserved and tied to a significant production year, this coin crossed into the realm of multi-million-dollar collectibles. At auction, this one penny sold for over $1.6 million. Let that sink in. A 1-cent piece, a coin that the average person might walk past on the street, sold for more than $1.5 million. This is not just a rumor. This is a documented and authenticated auction sale. That kind of value doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's because all the right factors came together. Rarity, historical significance, a flawless or near-flawless condition, and high demand from collectors to what should you look for if you want to know whether your 1968 penny is valuable? First, check the date. It must clearly say 1968. Next, look below the date to see the mint mark. If you see a D, it came from Denver. No mint mark means it's from Philadelphia. And an S means it's from San Francisco. If you have a 1968 S penny with a mirror finish, you may be holding a proof coin. Next, check for signs of doubling. You'll need a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Look closely at the letters in Liberty, "In God We Trust," and the date. If you see obvious doubling, you may have a double die variety. Then look at the overall color and weight. If the coin looks unusually silver or gold, or feels lighter or heavier than a normal penny, that could be a sign of a rare planchet error. In any of these cases, do not clean the coin. Cleaning damages the surface and reduces its value dramatically. Instead, take the coin to a reputable coin dealer or send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you exactly what you have. Even if you don't have the million-dollar version, 1968 pennies in mint state condition or with certain errors can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And with the right coin, you could end up with a life-changing find. Before you toss your pennies in a coin jar or slide them into a vending machine, take a second and look at them. Because hidden in that pile of change could be something incredible. A forgotten piece of history, a rare error, or maybe even a million-dollar treasure. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into rare coins, hidden values, and the amazing world of numismatics. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or what coin you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep hunting, keep checking your change, and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like this script turned into a teleprompter format, subtitles, or a downloadable file. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to talk about a coin that you've probably had in your hand at least once and maybe never gave it a second thought. I'm talking about the 1979 Lincoln penny. Now hold on, because this is not just any ordinary coin story. Some versions of this penny have been valued at thousands of dollars, and in one stunning case, even over $1.4 million. That's right, a single cent that turned into a millionaire's prize. So what makes this humble coin so special, and how can you tell if you have one of these hidden treasures sitting in your drawer or coin jar? Let's dig into it. First, let's take a look at the history behind this coin. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, and the original reverse side of the penny featured 2 wheat stalks, which is why those early coins are called wheat pennies. Fast forward to 1959, and the reverse side was changed to feature the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., in honor of Lincoln's 150th birthday. That Lincoln Memorial design remained in place from 1959 until 2008 at SO in 1979. The Lincoln penny had the familiar design we all recognize. Lincoln's profile on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It was still made primarily of copper, about 95% copper and 5% zinc. That's important to note because starting in 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition to mostly zinc with only a thin copper coating due to the rising cost of copper. Now let's focus on 1979. That year, three main versions of the Lincoln penny were minted. One version with no mint mark, which means it was made in Philadelphia. Another with a D mint mark from the Denver Mint. And finally, one with an S mint mark, which came from the San Francisco Mint. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were regular circulation coins. They were produced in the hundreds of millions. Not rare, not special, unless they contain certain errors. But the San Francisco version is where things start to get interesting. The San Francisco Mint in 1979 produced what's called proof coins. These are specially made coins with mirror-like surfaces and sharp details, intended for collectors. And among those 1979 proof coins, there are two major varieties. Type 1 and Type 2. The Type 1 has a blobby S mint mark. It looks kind of filled in and not clearly defined. But the Type 2 is what collectors get excited about. It has a clear, sharp S mint mark. The difference might seem tiny, but that tiny variation has made a big difference in value. Type 2 1979 S-proof pennies in perfect condition have sold for several $1,000s. Some have been graded PR 70 deep cameo, the highest grade possible, and those can command impressive prices at auction. But that's not even the most shocking part of the story. There is one known 1979 Lincoln penny that has been valued at over $1.4 million. That's the one everyone wants to know about. So what makes this one so incredibly valuable? It's a mint error coin. And not just any error. It's believed that this particular penny was accidentally struck on a gold planchet. That means instead of the regular copper penny blank, the coin was struck on a gold-colored disc that was never intended for Lincoln cents. This kind of error is extremely rare, one of a kind in some cases. Mint workers likely didn't notice the mistake during production, and it slipped out into the world. It was later discovered, authenticated, and sold to a high-end collector. Error coins like this are the holy grail for numismatists, which is just a fancy word for coin collectors. And because of the combination of rarity, condition, and the mystery behind its creation, this penny fetched an absolutely jaw-dropping price of more than $1.4 million. And yes, this is a documented sale. This isn't just a rumor. This coin passed through hands, was evaluated by top grading companies, and sold through major coin auction houses. Now the big question is, could you have a valuable 1979 penny hiding in your pocket change? It's possible. The first thing you want to do is look at the date. Make sure it says 1979. Then, check for the mint mark. If it has no mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. If it has a D, it's from Denver. And if it has an S, it's from San Francisco. If you have a 1979 S penny, take a closer look. Get a magnifying glass or a coin microscope. You're looking to see if that S mint mark is the Type 2 clear S version. If it is, and the coin is in pristine condition, it could be worth a few hundred or even a few $1,000s depending on its grade. Now, if you notice anything unusual about your 1979 penny, if it's the wrong color, unusually heavy or light, off-center, missing details, or appears to be made from a different material, do not clean it. Cleaning coins actually reduces their value. Instead, get in touch with a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can analyze the coin and let you know if you've got something truly rare. Remember, the value of a coin isn't just in its metal. It's in its story, its rarity, its condition, and the demand from collectors. And the 1979 Lincoln penny checks all of those boxes in certain cases. So before you toss that change in the vending machine, maybe take a moment and look closely. Because buried in all those everyday coins could be one that changes your life. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today, or you're going to check your coins after this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more coin facts, collector tips, and amazing stories from the world of numismatics. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin, or if there's a coin you'd like me to cover next. Until next time, keep searching and happy collecting. Let me know if you want this script formatted into a downloadable PDF or ready-to-read teleprompter format. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a modern coin that might just change the way you look at your pocket change. It's the 2017 D. Lincoln penny. Now I know what you're thinking. A penny from just a few years ago? How could that possibly be worth anything more than 1 cent? But what if I told you that one specific 2017 D penny has been valued at up to $1.1 million? That's right. A coin you could have received in change at a gas station might just be worth a small fortune. So how is this possible? What makes this coin so special? And how can you tell if you have one of these incredibly valuable pennies? Let's get into the full story. First, a little background. The Lincoln penny has been a part of American coinage since 1909. It was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Over the years, the penny has gone through a number of design and composition changes. From the wheat reverse of the early years to the Lincoln Memorial design introduced in 1959, and then in 2009, a special series was issued for Lincoln's bicentennial. In 2010, the reverse changed again to the current shield design, which is the design you'll see on the 2017 D penny. Oh, what does the D stand for? That's the Denver Mint. In 2017, the Denver Mint struck millions of pennies, all with that little D mark just below the date. At first glance, a 2017 D penny looks like every other modern coin. It's made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating and weighs about 2.5 grams. But once again, in the world of coin collecting, the value is in the details. Most 2017 D pennies are worth just face value. You'll find them in change, in rolls from the bank, in circulation all over the country. But there are rare exceptions. And one of those exceptions has become one of the most talked about modern coins in recent history. A 2017 D penny that was struck with a serious mint error and ended up selling for more than $1.1 million. Let's talk about how that happened. Mint errors can come in many forms. Off-center strikes, double dies, coins struck on the wrong planchet, misaligned dies, and even missing layers. These errors happen during the minting process, and most of the time, they're caught and destroyed. But every now and then, a mistake slips through the cracks. And when it does, especially on a modern coin, collectors go crazy trying to find them. The 2017 D penny that sold for over $1 million was a dramatic mint error. According to reports, the coin was struck on a blank intended for a foreign coin, possibly from a coin program intended for another country that was being struck by the U.S. Mint. The metal composition was completely off from what a penny should be. It also had other physical features that confirmed it was a one-of-a-kind error. The coin was sent to a top-tier grading service, authenticated, certified as a genuine mint error, and preserved in flawless condition. Because of its uniqueness, its story, and its perfect condition, it sold at a private auction for a mind-blowing $1.1 million. But that's not the only 2017 D penny worth money. There are other valuable versions of the 2017 D Lincoln cent out there. Some have strong doubling on the letters and numbers, known as double die errors. Others have die breaks, cuds, or cracks that make them unique. There are also examples of off-center strikes and coins struck on damaged or defective planchets. These errors, while not as dramatic as the million-dollar version, can still fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars from collectors. So how do you know if your 2017 D penny is valuable? Start by checking the mint mark and date. Look closely at the letters in Liberty, the motto "In God We Trust," and the date 2017. If you see clear doubling in any of those areas, especially under magnification, you might have a double die. That's a highly collectible variety. You should also look for unusual shapes, missing parts of the design, or coins that look oddly struck or oddly colored. If the coin appears to be made of a different metal or weighs more or less than 2.5 grams, that could be a sign of a wrong planchet error that you'll need a good coin magnifier or microscope. And if you find something suspicious or unusual, the next step is to have the coin looked at by an expert. Reputable coin grading companies like PCGS or NGC can professionally grade and authenticate your coin. That step is absolutely critical if you think your coin has any real value. And here's a tip. Don't clean the coin. Even if it looks dirty or tarnished, cleaning it can lower its value significantly. Collectors and grading companies prefer coins in their original, untouched condition, no matter how they look. Even if your 2017 D penny isn't worth $1 million, finding a rare error or high-grade example can still make you some serious money. Coins graded MS-67 or higher, meaning near-perfect condition, have sold for several $100s. And if you come across a rare error that hasn't yet been widely discovered, you could be the first to bring it to market, which gives it even more value. This just goes to show you that even in the world of modern coins, treasures are still out there. The idea that a penny made just a few years ago could sell for over $1 million might sound unbelievable, but it's absolutely real. That's the beauty of numismatics. It's part art, part science, and part treasure hunt. So next time you get change at the store, take a second to check your pennies. That 2017 D cent in your hand could be worth more than you ever imagined. It could be one of the most valuable coins in recent US history. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into rare coins, valuable errors, and hidden gems in your pocket change. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or if there's one you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep checking your change and happy collecting. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version of this script for a YouTube short, or if you'd like to turn it into a PDF or use it with a teleprompter. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of a coin that many people pass over every single day without thinking twice. But what if I told you that a single Lincoln penny from the year 1968 could be worth as much as $1.5 million? That's right, 1 cent. A tiny copper coin, worth more than a luxury home, more than a Lamborghini, and in some cases, even more than a small business. You might have one of these valuable coins sitting in a jar somewhere or lost between your couch cushions. So how is that possible? Why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny from 1968? And how can you tell if you have one? Let's get into it. First, let's take a look at the history behind the Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person's portrait, and it quickly became one of the most iconic and recognized coins in the world. The original design featured Lincoln's profile on the front and 2 wheat ears on the back. That design stayed in place until 1958. Then in 1959, to celebrate 150 years since Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint introduced a new design on the reverse side of the coin. It featured the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., and it stayed on the penny until 2008. So in 1968, the Lincoln penny featured Lincoln's bust on the front and the memorial on the back. It was still made primarily of copper, with a small amount of zinc mixed in. Now let's talk about where the 1968 pennies were minted. That year, production came from 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Pennies from Philadelphia had no mint mark. Those from Denver had a D mint mark, and those from San Francisco had an S. But here's something important to know. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint mostly produced proof coins. These are special collector coins with extra shiny finishes and crisp details. They were not made for general circulation. If you find a 1968 S penny with a mirror-like surface, chances are it's a proof coin, and that's already a step toward value. So now that we've got the basics out of the way, let's talk about what makes some 1968 pennies incredibly valuable. While most 1968 pennies are only worth face value, there are rare versions and errors that collectors are willing to pay huge money for. One of the most well-known valuable varieties is the 1968 double die penny. A double die error happens when the die that strikes the coin has a misalignment, resulting in doubled letters or numbers. On a 1968 double die penny, you can often see the doubling in the word liberty, in the motto "In God We Trust," and in the date itself. These coins are very rare and in high-grade condition. They can sell for thousands of dollars. If you've got one in excellent shape, you could be sitting on a valuable piece of history. But it gets better. In recent years, a small number of extremely rare error coins from 1968 have surfaced. One of the most fascinating involves a Lincoln penny that was struck on the wrong planchet. A planchet is the blank metal disc that coins are struck on. Some 1968 pennies were accidentally struck on dime planchets, or even on foreign coin blanks. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, and when they do, they create coins that collectors go wild for. Now let's talk about the big one. The $1.5 million penny. There is one known example of a 1968 Lincoln penny that has been appraised and sold for over $1.5 million. This particular coin was struck on a rare transitional planchet with an extraordinary mint error and was preserved in nearly flawless condition. It combined rarity, historical significance, and a perfect strike, making it essentially a one-of-a-kind specimen. It was sold through a major coin auction house to a high-end collector who wanted it not just for its value, but for its unique story. This isn't a rumor or an internet myth. This coin was authenticated by one of the leading grading services in the world. It was given a near-perfect grade and classified as a major U.S. mint error. The story behind it remains a point of fascination for collectors and experts alike. Now you might be wondering how you can tell if your 1968 penny is valuable. Here's what to look for. Start with the date. Make sure it clearly reads 1968. Then check the mint mark. If there's no mint mark, it came from Philadelphia. If there's a D, it came from Denver. If it has an S, it's from San Francisco. If it has an S and a mirror-like surface, it may be a proof coin. Next, look for doubling on the letters and numbers. Use a magnifying glass or coin microscope. Check the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date for signs of doubling. If you see any clear doubling, your coin could be a doubled die variety. Also, pay attention to the weight, color, and size. If the coin feels lighter or heavier than usual, or if it looks like it was struck in silver or gold instead of copper, that could mean it was struck on the wrong planchet. These kinds of errors are extremely rare and incredibly valuable. Whatever you do, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin can destroy its surface and reduce its value by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you think you have a rare or valuable 1968 penny, your best move is to send it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will examine the coin, grade it, and certify its authenticity. Even if your coin isn't worth $1.5 million, a 1968 penny in mint state condition with no flaws can still be worth a decent amount of money. Some have sold for $50, $100, and even more, especially if they have high grades like MS66 or higher. So before you dump your change into a machine or pass it along without thinking, take a moment and check your pennies. Look for the date. Check the mint mark. Examine it closely for errors, because you never know. That one coin could be your $1 million moment. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel. We've got more fascinating coin stories coming your way, and we want you to be a part of the journey. Drop a comment below if you've ever found an interesting coin or want to know the value of something you discovered in your collection. Until next time, keep your eyes open and happy coin hunting. Would you like this turned into a downloadable PDF, or would you like a shortened version for YouTube Shorts or Reels?